Shalom Aleichem Mishpachah. All glory and praises to the Creator, Yuhei Wafe, and His most humble Son, Yuhei Wafe, Bet Nun Sofi, Yuhei Wafe. Welcome back to the channel, family. Today we're talking about the trees in the garden. What was those trees in the garden? We want to expel that myth that's taught in Christianity about the trees and that story, what took place in the garden. What were those trees and who were they? Right? So today we're going to start off in Ezekiel chapter 31 verses 2 through 9. Actually, you can read that whole chapter, Ezekiel 31, but I just want to jump to a few scriptures to prove our point, and you can carry on after that on your own, but we just want to bring your attention to the trees in the garden. All right, so I'm going to read verse 2 starting out through verse 9. Son of man, speak unto Egypt, unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, and to his multitude, whom art thou like in thy greatness? A question being asked, and they go to explain. Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadow shroud, and of an high stature, and his top was among the thick barks. The waters made him great, the deep set him up on high, with her rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his barks were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. All the fowls of heaven made their nests in his barks, and on his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Hear that well? All great nations. Thus was the fare of his greatness in the length of his branches, for his roots was by great waters. The cedars in the garden of Yuhei could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his barks, and the chestnut trees was not like his branches. Nor any tree in the garden of Yuhei was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all trees of even that were in the garden of Yuhei envied him. Now, as we go back and examine this story, it's going to outline this and let you know who it's talking about. Right? For instance, we go in verse 8 of chapter 31 of Ezekiel. It said the cedars in the garden of Yuhei could not hide him. Now, we only know one man that was in the garden that was trying to hide. His name was Adam, which is a plural sense. Adam consisted of Adamites, a whole nation of people. That's why I said the other trees in the garden envied him. So understand that well. Adam is plural, meaning a nation of people. Right? So what is a tree? It said it hid amongst the trees in the garden of Yuhei. Now, tree in the Hebrew Concordance, reference numbers, chapter 6086. 6086. The word tree means a carpenter, right? That's what the word tree means. In the synonym found by J.I. Rodell, copyright 1978, on page 150, a carpenter is a woodworker, cabinet maker, and a builder. Now, we all know from those definitions right there, we're dealing with a man. You're dealing with a man, right? So it's letting you know that these trees were actually men. The Adamites, a nation of people. A reference scripture to verify that the trees in the garden were men, we can read Isaiah chapter 55, verse 12, which reads, For ye shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Now you know trees don't have hands. What they're telling you? It's talking about a man. Also, one of the definitions of tree is a descendant, the bloodline, family tree. So to let you know that the trees in the garden are men. This is what we are dealing with. Verse 16. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall. When Adam slept and went to sleep and got kicked out. When I cast him down to hell, with them that descended into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice, the best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the neither parts of the earth. It's talking about Adam when he fell. Yahweh kicked him out the garden. So yes, when you go back and read that story in the garden about Adam hiding among the trees in the garden, this is what it's talking about. He was hiding among the other nations from what his transgressions, what he committed against Yahweh. Matter of fact, let's go on and read the scripture. Genesis chapter 3, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh amongst the trees of the garden. So you see, this story was taken all the way from Genesis all the way over into the book of Ezekiel. You know, and it's talking about these trees. So in the book of Ezekiel chapter 31, it's going in depth to what the story was talking about back in Genesis. So you see how the enemy just takes certain scriptures and flip them around. And you know, if you're not a good study or research person, you know, as Yahweh Ben Yahweh have taught us over the years how to study and research these things, then you will have no idea what's going on with that particular story and what those trees were and what they really represent. Alright? So just want to drop them quick jewels on your family. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the channel. Share the videos, family, because YouTube is saying that a lot of you that's watching the video, it's not subscribed and not liking and not sharing of that thing. But we know that you are watching. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share, family. Shalom Aleichem and Aniyah Hov.